I really don't want to be making this video. I have been dreading this since last night when I received updated ratings for the chase for the golden toilet, which the media continues to erroneously call the WNBA playoffs. But the reason I am doing this is because I'm fair. If I am going to criticize the WNBA, if I am going to constantly make fun of the WNBA for their decades-long history of huge embarrassing failure, it's only right, it's only fair that I compliment them in the extremely rare instance where they actually taste success. You know, usually I'm not a hater. Usually, I don't wish failure on anyone. Over the years, we have talked about countless huge embarrassing failures here on the channel. The originator for the term huge embarrassing failure, the former reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champ of failure, Bomani Jones. Smelly Jameli Hill, Pat McAfee and his abysmal ratings at ESPN, Johnny B. Biden, the trio of huge embarrassing failures that destroyed the genre of late-night television, CNN, the Cemetery News Network, home to arguably the greatest roster of huge embarrassing failures in the history of cable news. When we talk about these failures, I am not wishing failure upon them. I am simply giving you guys the evidence. I'm giving you the information that you need to make an informed decision when you vote for the upcoming second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. You really think I care if Wolf Blitzer, woof, 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 you really think I care if Wolf Blitzer miraculously found a way to remove the water from the sinking CNN Titanic? I don't wish failure on 99% of the huge embarrassing failures that we cover, but that other 1%, which represents the WNBA dump, it is no secret I hate this league. This is the only league where I take pleasure in their demise. And it's mainly because of the entitled players in the WNBA, and they make it easy for me to hate the league. The entitled players in the dump, they give you every reason not to like them. But even though I hate the WNBA as a league, doesn't mean I am going to treat them unfairly. Just because I hate the WNBA doesn't mean I'm going to run and hide when they have managed to achieve the impossible. Well, Casey, did the WNBA finally turn a profit? Did they finally make a peso? Are you out of your mind? This dump has been given over $80 million in corporate donations over the last few years, and they have still found a way to lose $50 million this season. However, they have found a way to draw and maintain an audience without the assistance of Caitlin Clark. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, a legendary artist who offers something that you will never see in the WNBA. He draws oil paintings that feature classic moments in college football. Obviously, impossible to do that in the WNBA because there are no classic moments. Talking about Daniel Moore and New Life Art. I know a lot of you guys in this audience are big fans of college football. Now, me personally, I have always preferred the NFL, but one thing I can't deny about college football is the deep tradition that it has, the memories, especially down here in the South. I can still remember where I was when Chris Davis returned Alabama's missed field goal attempt for over 100 yards to win the Iron Bowl in 2013. And that is exactly what New Life Art does. They capture the classic memories of college football. New Life Art offers oil paintings from legendary painter Daniel Moore. Here's an example right here. This is Bryce Young in the SEC championship game a week before he won the Heisman Trophy. Look, who knows? Who knows? This painting could be worth a shitload of money one day because this is likely the last trophy Bryce Young will ever win since he's on his way out of the NFL. If you're a fan of Ohio State, you can hang on to their 2013 national title with this picture of Urban Meyer and Zeke Elliott. Or You can remember Clemson's 2017 national championship with this painting of Deshaun Watson leaping into the end zone. New Life Art. They also offer calendars and coffee mugs that feature some of the classic games and memories from college football. So click the link in the description below. Grab your first piece of classic memorabilia from New Life Art. All right, Tuesday night, ESPN made the decision to broadcast opening night of the NHL regular season over the chase for the Golden Toilet in the WNBA. Now, that decision alone, it tells you all you need to know about what the worldwide leader in woke thinks about the WNBA dump. ESPN talks a good game. They claim to be the proud home of elite dump diving, but the truth is, ESPN thought the NHL was more likely to deliver a large audience, so they dumped the dump over on ESPN2, a network that typically draws significantly lower ratings. Now, unfortunately for ESPN and those of us who really can't stand the WNBA, this was the wrong decision. Ratings were down 39% for opening night in the NHL. The tripleheader on ESPN had only averaged 559,000 viewers. Bruins Panthers, 790,000, down 47% compared to last year. Blackhawks and whatever the hell the team's name is in Utah. I didn't even realize that Utah had an NHL franchise. Blackhawks Mormons, 522,000, down 24%. Blues Kraken, 348,000. Absolutely atrocious, down 45% compared to last year. There was not a single game in the NHL that outdrew the WNBA playoffs. Well, KC, that's really not a fair comparison. You're comparing the regular season in the NHL to the playoffs in the WNBA. Really? Everything should beat the WNBA. ESPN should be able to broadcast minor league bowling, and it should dominate the WNBA in the ratings. But what was even more strange about this decision from ESPN is the fact that the only game played in the WNBA Tuesday night was in an elimination game. The female Suns from Connecticut, they traveled to Minnesota to play the Linkers for a chance to make the WNBA Finals and secure off-season rights to the Golden Throne. With a game of this magnitude, it's surprising that ESPN chose to go with the NHL instead of the WNBA. I mean, both of these dumps have big stars: Nafisha Collier, DeJounte Carrington, Courtney Williams. You don't have to say it. I already know what you're thinking. Who, and who? All kidding aside, WNBA performed exceptionally well on ESPN2 Tuesday night. 984,000 viewers. Excellent number for the WNBA. On a night with 2 games in the playoffs in Major League Baseball, which, by the way, baseball has performed very well this postseason. I know the baseball fans in this audience, you guys have got to be pleased with the way that Major League Baseball is performing. But on a night with 2 games in the playoffs in Major League Baseball, 984,000 people decided that they would rather watch the worst basketball imaginable. If you're looking for me to give you an explanation, I don't have one. You guys know how I feel about modern baseball, but if you gave me the choice between professional baseball and pretend basketball, I'm taking the baseball. But almost 1 million people, they didn't feel that way. Nearly 1 million people decided to watch the WNBA without Caitlin Clark being involved. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie, that is a great sign for the league. Yes, ratings are down 50% without Caitlin Clark, but that also means that 50% of the audience, they found the WNBA interesting enough to watch without Caitlin Clark being involved. Short term, this is great news for the WNBA. And when I say short term, I mean very short term, like the next 2 to 3 weeks kind of short term. These ratings are a double-edged sword. While they potentially prove that the WNBA can survive without Caitlin Clark during the playoffs, it also gives entitled players all the ammunition they need to demand higher salaries. Like I told you guys the other day, I think there's going to be a lockout this season that could potentially impact and possibly even cancel the 2025 WNBA season. The only thing that could save Kat Engelbert from the season being canceled is most WNBA players, they can't afford it. This is not the NBA where scrubs are making $7-8 million a year. This is the dump, where the average player is making the same amount of money as the produce manager at your local Walmart. WNBA players, they're going to use these ratings. They're going to use the falsely inflated attendance numbers, which, by the way, Game 5 in Minnesota Tuesday night, same game that drew so well on television, less than 9,000 people in an arena equipped to hold 19,000. Demand for tickets was so low, they were only selling seats in the lower bowl. And those seats, they were going for like $60. But anyway, entitled players, they will point to ratings. They'll use falsely inflated attendance numbers. They'll use the new television deal, and they'll claim that these are justifiable reasons for a raise in their minimum wage salaries. When the reality is, the WNBA, they can't afford to pay them the salaries that they are currently not earning. But even with that being the case, if WNBA players demand raises this offseason, they will get it. They don't deserve it, but they will get it. How do I know that? Well, for starters, WNBA Commissioner Kat Engelbert is weak. We have countless examples of Kat Engelbert giving in to the entitlement. All WNBA players have to do is whine and complain, and Mama Kat gives them whatever the hell they want. But the main reason WNBA players will get a raise, this league does not operate as an actual business. Like I told you countless times, the WNBA, it is a charity. It's not a business. If this were a business, players would be paying to join the league. It would be no different than your local rec league in Gay, Georgia. Kat Engelbert doesn't really have to operate on a budget because she can always rely on her primary subsidizers in the NBA to bail her out. But if they reach an impasse, if Kat Engelbert actually stands her ground and tells WNBA players that they haven't earned a raise and they won't be given a raise until they generate profit, if Kat Engelbert does that and the players refuse to play next season, it will be the end of the WNBA in the mainstream. Casual fan will not forgive them. As of right now, good for the WNBA and their supporters. Good for them. They surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be possible. I didn't think they'd be able to draw without Caitlin Clark, and they proved me wrong. Hope they enjoy it, though. I hope they enjoy this success because I have a strong feeling that things are about to take a turn for the worse in the WNBA dump. But give me your thoughts on this. WNBA does the impossible, draws great ratings without Caitlin Clark. Are people actually interested in pretend basketball? Could we be reaching a point where the WNBA is actually more popular than the NHL? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.